On March 28, Ukrainian forces successfully repelled a large-scale Russian armored assault near Andriivka in the Pokrovsk direction, destroying an entire column of 12 armored vehicles and dealing a significant blow to the advancing troops. The attack, described as one of the most intense in recent weeks, involved a Russian convoy advancing with visible flags, a tactic not seen in recent operations, and the Ukrainian drone unit Birds of Magyar, along with the 35th Regional Military Brigade, successfully halted and destroyed the armored convoy, with photos and footage allegedly showing the aftermath of the destruction shared by a Ukrainian armed forces lieutenant with the call sign Alek. In the report, Ukrainian forces successfully destroyed an entire convoy, including the T-90M tank, which is considered the most advanced in Russia's arsenal. As we've seen throughout the war, Russian tanks, even the highly sophisticated T-90, have faced serious challenges in Ukraine, suffering heavy losses, and despite its advanced design, the T-90M continues to struggle against modern threats such as anti-tank munitions and suicide drones. What the world has learned from the war in Ukraine about Russia's military is that the sheer volume of equipment Moscow had in its inventory as of February 2022 may have seemed impressive, even intimidating. However, if those weapon systems are not employed using tactics suited to modern battlefields, and if the troops operating them are poorly led and inadequately trained, then the number of modern weapons alone means very little. The Russian T-90 tank, once touted as one of the best in the world, has failed in Ukraine, exposing vulnerabilities in both its design and leadership, and despite its advanced features, the T-90's autoloader stores ammunition inside the crew compartment, which leads to catastrophic failure when hit by anti-tank weapons such as the US-supplied Javelin missile. The war between Ukraine and Russia, now entering its third year, has resulted in significant losses, especially for Russia. According to a report from the General Staff of Ukraine, Russia has lost over 10,000 tanks, a staggering number by any standard. It's important to note that very few countries in the world possess, let alone can deploy, such a large number of tanks, with Russia having an estimated 3,300 combat-ready units at the start of the war. These losses include not only modern tanks, but also older models like the T-55, a tank first introduced back in 1958. As stated by Russia's top leaders, the T-90 is the most advanced tank in Russia's arsenal, and this can be proven with several innovations incorporated into the vehicle, which sounds quite similar to the upgrades made by the US Army on its Abrams tanks. For instance, the specifications available for the T-90 mention that the tank's 125mm smoothbore main gun can fire high-explosive anti-tank shells as well as high-explosive fragmentation rounds, enhancing its anti-personnel lethality. To some extent, this is in line with the types of ammunition fired by the Abrams, which includes multi-purpose anti-tank rounds, high-explosive anti-tank shells, and the so-called canister rounds that release a series of small, fragmented projectiles to destroy enemy infantry groups. The T-90, which began operations in 1993, raises questions about how well it has been maintained and upgraded over the years. Some reports reveal that the tank is equipped with advanced countermeasures, such as the Shtor-1 optronic system, designed to disrupt laser targeting on incoming anti-tank guided missiles and electro-optical jammers. Most importantly, the T-90M is engineered with advanced thermal imaging, as its high-precision, long-range targeting sensors can offer a significant advantage in terms of accuracy. It's not just the T-90 that has suffered heavy losses in Ukraine. Other Russian tanks, particularly the T-72 model, have also experienced significant losses in the Russia-Ukraine war. According to open-source intelligence reports from Oryx, Russia lost 1,200 T-72 tanks within the first year of the war, and while Russia was estimated to have around 6,900 T-72s, more recent estimates suggest that only about 1,500 remain. This tank was introduced in the 1970s and is not a modern war machine. However, if Russia exhausts its T-72 reserves, it may be forced to rely on older tank models that were previously retired from production. Ukraine also possesses T-72s in its inventory, but it has received modern weaponry from Western allies, such as the Leopard 2 and M1 Abrams tanks, both of which have established strong reputations. The T-72 is somewhat unsuitable for the modern battlefield, as it was designed in the late 1960s, and since 1968, about 25,000 T-72s have been produced. The T-72 is an improvement over the T-62 model, featuring steel and air composite armor, a 125mm smoothbore gun, and a V12 diesel engine. With a fuel capacity of 320 gallons, the T-72 has an operational range of 290 miles, and it is reportedly capable of reaching speeds of up to 47 miles per hour, although it can only reverse at around 2.5 miles per hour. Perhaps the most notable feature of the T-72 is its weight. Weighing just 41 tons, it is smaller and more compact compared to its Western contemporaries, and this was no accident. The Soviets deliberately designed their tanks to be compact and then built roads to suit them. The losses on both sides of the Russia-Ukraine war are staggering, and this conflict has turned into the most brutal battle on the European continent since the Allies besieged Berlin, with casualty rates reflecting its ferocity. Both sides have suffered heavy losses in terms of troops and equipment, and the battlefield has become a graveyard for tanks and armored vehicles. As equipment is destroyed, both countries have turned to different sources to replenish their stockpiles. Ukraine is fortunate enough to have Western supporters willing to supply Kyiv's resistance with everything from F-16 to anti-tank javelins to HIMARS. On the other hand, Russia has been forced to rely on leftovers from the Cold War and World War II, like the T-72. The Oryx figures 1,200 T-72s lost are likely an undercount of the actual number. The intelligence company uses verified footage and imagery to arrive at these numbers, meaning the Oryx verification standards likely don't include destroyed tanks. This conflict has shown just how dire the situation has become for both sides, as the relentless destruction of military hardware, especially tanks, highlights the high cost of this war, and with each passing day, both Ukraine and Russia are facing mounting losses.